Hello, this is Ken Guscott in a continuing demonstration of the down and dirty roster printer. Useful pages in a roster publication are an organization table. If you have watched the demonstration movie about organization, you will know how to enter appropriate information into the organization. So now we need to know how to use the down and dirty roster printer to make the page layout. From the Reports menu, select Print Roster Info and Complete Roster. Now from the report type, you will want to select Organization Table. The down and dirty roster utility gives you lots of different options as to what will be included in the organization table, but in our case we will just simply say check all. You will notice that in the default condition of having 3 columns and some font that was selected, that the data is overflowing the columns, and this is going to require some adjustment. We may adjust the font face and size to correct this, or we may also adjust the number of columns. I notice here that we have 2 pages, so if I go and look at page 2, I find that there isn't very much information on it, and to get a satisfactory layout it might be better if we decided to go with 2 columns. This seems to have resolved the data overflow, but of course we may still go in and adjust the font face and font size if we so desire. Zooming in for a closer look, we may decide that it's a good idea to dress the page up a little, and we have several options available to us to enable us to do that. Looking at these options in Organization Page Options, we see that we have several things available. We could do 1 page per department, but since this is a squadron with a relatively small number of positions occupied, this is quite unnecessary. We can decide that we might like to underline the department names, and we can do that. And we can underline the committee names if we so desire. And we can underline the chairpersons, or if we don't want to do that, we could have them in bold. Or we might decide it's a good idea to have the department names in bold. Down in the text position area, we also find that we have an offset tab. What this is doing, it's offsetting the members of a particular committee. We may decide that if we have underlined committee names, that we don't really need an offset to differentiate the committee members from the committee name. Alternatively, of course, we could decide that we're not going to underline the committee, and that we would use the offset tab to differentiate the committee members. And so, using these options, we can make the page appear as we like it. So I think I'm going to underline the committee members, the committee names I should say, and not offset the committee members. Take a look at the completed page, and page 2, now the small amount of data that was on page 2 is now looking a lot more presentable. Another thing that we need to do is to make the page overall page layout similar to what we had decided for our roster. If you recall, our roster page layout had a header which we can put in, and it had a line separator, and the header was in bold and a larger font. We also had a footer and a line separator, and the footer was roster 2010. we had a date, which was 04/2010, and we had page numbers, which you need to set up so that it flows on from wherever you left off, and in our case I think this is going to be page 7. Finally, we need to save our page layout, so we go up to the save area here and we type in the name. Org table is probably a good description, and we save it. So now we have several page layouts already stored, but there are other options, so we will return to the main screen, and I will continue with the next part.